Hello BW friends, today things are going to get fancy. No, not me, but the E30 carburetor. So before we get to Emmy's car, let me tell you something. A few facts and figures about the E30. The predecessor was the E21, then came the E30, and after that, the E36. The E30 was built from 1982 to 1994, 1.8 million cars were produced in Germany, of which 142,000 were convertibles. Just imagine that. Now I have a few other numbers that I found even more interesting. So what do you think? How many E30s are still registered in Germany? I did some research. It's 44,600. E30s are still driving around in Germany. As of 2022, there are about 44,600 E30s. Out of those 44,600 E30s, what do you think? How many convertibles are still registered in Germany? 24,600. So more than half of the E30s in Germany are convertibles. Pretty cool, right? And then I thought, hey, wait a minute. Last time I filmed a Golf, the first generation Golf, and there were 4.9 million of those produced. And now, when I drive to Ulm, how many BMW E30s do I still see? And how many first generation Golfs do I see? I don't see any Golfs, but I keep seeing beautiful E30 convertibles or coupes. Then I thought, okay, why is that? Well, the Golf, for example, the GT cost 12,000 Deutschmarks back then, and a 325i convertible cost 43,000 Deutschmarks. So I remember from my youth, what did we do? We took the Golfs, used them as winter cars, crashed them, floored it, scrapped them, and that was it. But the BMW drivers, I mean, with such an expensive, fancy car, you just don't do that with a BMW like that. Exactly, the BMW drivers took care of their cars. Now let's talk about Emmy's car. First of all, I want to thank Emmy for letting me film his beautiful, stylish 3 Series. Really a great thing because it's just before December, it's freezing cold, and we're filming a convertible. What engines were available in the BMW E30? In terms of engines, it started with a 316, 318, so 1.8 liter, 1.6 liter. 4 cylinders, and then came the 6 cylinders, the 320, the 323, the 325, and then the highest version, the M3. In terms of raw horsepower, we're looking at a range from a modest 84 horsepower all the way up to a very impressive 235 horsepower in the high-performance Evo model. But what I mainly want to discuss and focus on, mainly rear-wheel drive. There were some, the 325iX with all-wheel drive, but those are super rare. What I didn't know, or what I wasn't familiar with, there was even a 333i, a 3.2 liter 6-cylinder in that car. I didn't know about it, but it wasn't produced for the German market, rather for the South African market. There were actually 8 electric cars of the E30, but only for research purposes. They had 22 kilowatts, top speed was then 100 kilometers per hour, but that was purely for research purposes. Alright, and now we come to this stylish thing here. Where do we start? Best to start with the body from the outside. As you can see, awesome paint job. The car was painted in Calypso red, even the clear coat was tinted. So what did Emmy do? He completely disassembled the car, painted everything, not just the outside, but also underneath. I'll show you a few pictures of what it looked like, how it looked during painting. Yeah, and I hope with this sunshine that the paint really comes through well now. But Emmy is going to send a couple more videos now. Then you can really see the paint well. The cool thing is, when the sun shines on it, that's when the pearl effect comes out. When the sun is gone, then it's a really nice red. What else do we have exactly? Shall we get to the car? It's a 91 model year facelift NM. Package 2. That means it has thicker bumpers, meaning the M-Tech bumpers. Back in the day, there were the small chrome bumpers here, and the M-Tech ones are chunky. And that's exactly how an E30 should look. So here, these aren't US bumpers, but they were added later, and they look really fitting. The facelift still had chrome rings or chrome trims on the headlights. But then, well, we don't have that, so what else do we have, of course? Every E30 needs a BBS RS wheel, and only in 17-inch 8.5 by 17. Brutal, really my style. And the stance, what did he install? KW variant, the first one? Fits, I would say, or with that. With that ride height, you can really whip around corners fast. You don't have to look and worry that something's gonna scrape somewhere, especially here. No, it doesn't do that. What I think is really cool is that even the roof was redone. Completely new in red. That's my style. There are certain colors, just like in fashion, that simply go together. Black, white, red, gray seats up front. I always see black seats, but have you ever seen gray seats? Especially these ones, they look so new, and they actually are new. I think he had them reupholstered about 2 years ago. Side skirts. Also M-Tech in the back, and 9.5 by 17-inch BBS RS wheels. Of course, it looks really cool, and the height is perfect. Nothing scrapes at this height. So you can't see the whole tire, just a nice, slightly lowered look. What else do we have here that's nice? What I personally really like are chrome rims, chrome trim here as well. Chrome is exactly my style, just classy. That just makes the car look so much more classy. Before we get to the interior, take a look at the color. Now, from a different angle, looks cool. Calypso red, like I said, paint and clear coat, nicely tinted. For me, it's perfect, but Emmy just told me, hey, no, it's only been painted once. So for me, it's awesome. Park the car and we're all happy. But these are people, they're perfectionists. He and Holger say, no, we'll do it again. So let's move on to the interior. What do we have inside? A beautiful wooden steering wheel for the old school classic car look. The needles are tinted. The sound system has been optimized and improved. And now about the leather upholstery up front. Honestly, I wouldn't even dare to sit in it. Look, everything has been newly upholstered, and what always gets me is split seats. It just looks sporty, it just looks great in a four-seater, and then the console in the middle. It's truly amazing. Just take a good look at these incredible pictures. It's absolutely brutal. Now, let's carefully move on to examining the rear of the vehicle. So, facelift, the wide taillights in red. With this color, it looks really cool, especially since everything is clean, no stickers or any kind of badges. Awesome M-Tech. The bumper looks super wide and sporty. But what also belongs to it, of course, is a fat exhaust system, specifically a Super Sprint with headers from the front all the way to the back. And now let's check out how this thing sounds. Only a BMW 6-cylinder sounds like this. Just like back in the day, like my youth. Simply awesome. The exhaust is brutal. I already mentioned it. 325 kbr. No, it's not that anymore. What was put in? The engine from the 5 Series BMW, the E34 535. It should originally, I think, have 211 horsepower. We sealed it, optimized it, and put it on the dyno to see what it would put out. 250 horsepower. Just think, the M3 EVO only had 235 horsepower. Not bad, yeah, cool. Just a quick break. And if you want a nice color like this, you can stop by the paint shop as well. Or I'll link you to Amy's Instagram channel. I think Emmy and Holger would definitely be happy if you checked them out. So quick break, cyclists, pedestrians, whatever, you can handle it all. So I asked Emmy what else he would change on the car. And he said, yeah, actually, there are still a few things. Little things like reupholstering the center console, the glove compartment, making the lid look nice with leather, and the foot panel. Additionally, he wants to clean up the engine bay. Make it look nice, paint it, just so it looks cool. Then I said, hey, high-end car, so of course I have to say thank you. Especially to Holger, you did an amazing job because his buddies helped him put the car together. And of course to his wife. I know how that goes too. When you build something together, sometimes there are arguments. Well, no, it always costs money when you're working on cars. Thank you. Dear wife. Now back to me. I want to thank you all for being on my channel, Enders. I'm Ender, and maybe next time there will be a nice Porsche. Let's see.